today's video we're going to show you how to mount a TV into a brick fireplace, and also we're going to build a frame for it to make a frame TV. What we're going to need for that, of course, is the wall mount bracket. You can get these Walmart, Lowe's, Amazon, anywhere like that. This one we got from Walmart. It actually came with anchors that you can use to mount it in the brick. If you get one that doesn't come with it, you can also get a little kit here. It has these sleeve anchors to put in there. Essentially, when you're going into concrete, you're going to drill out a hole, and whether it's these sleeve anchors or this style anchor, it's going to wedge in there to hold everything in. If you don't get this kit, you'll need to get a masonry bit to use with this one. So whatever you end up doing there. You also want a tape measure, screwdriver, and of course a drill to drill your holes with. And you also want a level. A lot of them actually come with a little level in it. So if it doesn't have that, you'll want to have a level as well. Make sure it's hanging nice and level. So this kit came with this hanging template. What we can do is measure and tape this up to mark where we want our holes at. Or also what I'm doing is just using the mount itself. And what I did, I measured how high, I put my mount on and measured how high the TV would be to about the first screw, which is going to be 16 inches. So simply put it up here, measured out to 16 inches. Check it on both sides. And then I'm going to use my level in the middle to get adjustment to try and get it as level as possible. And then mark my holes out, or actually I already marked these ones, but marking them going into brick, you want to make sure I wouldn't put two screws or anchors into one single brick. So here I'm on two different levels of brick, and I'm actually going to move it over a little bit just so I'm not on the edge of this one. And same over here, I'm moving it over so I'm not completely on the edge, and this one is already kind of centered, so we're fine there. But if this, say this did line up to where it was right, say it was right there, we wouldn't want to go into the mortar. And if this is where I was ending up with my measurement, I'd want to adjust the bracket on the back of the TV up or down, because you don't want to go in the mortar. It's going to be the weak spot. You want to be kind of in the middle of the brick. So you can see my marks right there, kind of in the center of the brick. Those upper ones are going to have the most of the force. So, but the main thing, don't go into the mortar. So you'll specifically want a masonry bit. Well, it shows up, but you see it's a little bit wider at the end there. So this part does the drilling, leaves room to get all the debris out. So you can't use a wood or metal bit on concrete. Another tool I forgot to mention comes in handy for this is the shop vac. What we're going to do, as I drill, we just kind of hold the shop vac hose up underneath and try to catch as much of the concrete dust as we can, so we'll have it all around us. Drill, preferably have a hammer drill. If it has the hammer setting, put it into that. You can set your little lag bolt up here, get an idea. You can take a piece of like electro tape or masking tape and tape it around the drill bit to give you an idea, or just kind of eyeball it. anchor using. If I was going to use these, I would pound these into the hole, and then it's the, when you tighten this bolt up, it drives this into it as a wedge and pushes out to kind of wedge everything in place. These ones are probably overkill for this application. They're rated for about 600 pounds, so it's going to end up weighing about 50, 60 pounds, so well within range for that. Just take these. So, I don't know what mount you go with. Notice up arrow. So you're gonna want that end up. But everyone might be a little bit different on that. So just pay attention to which socket and ratchet that matches the size that we need. Put those in. Slightly off, but I think we'll be okay. So after you get it up there, just kind of give it a good tug, make sure we're good and solid. So we'll point out these slots are all here so you can put these wherever they need to be. They don't have to be in a certain, necessarily right there. So if you were doing this on a regular wall with studs, you would put these, this will span across 2 studs, so you want to make sure you're in the stud. If I was doing this in a stud, I'd have these lined up, but just make sure if you need to, you can move these across. They don't have to be in these exact holes. So here you can see our brackets. The height is adjustable, so even if your bracket, after your bracket's set, if you need to adjust the height a little bit, you can just move that to a different notch, move them up or down, or get them set however you need it to get the desired height here. And those just screw on with the supplied screws. The kit we got came with a bunch of different sizes to fit multiple TVs, so chances are it'll work for you. Now we've got it laying here on the edge of the couch just to prop it up to take these stands out, because we won't need those anymore. Just a simple screwdriver for those as well. So the mount just slides in up under that lip and sits on like that. Make sure you got both sides latched on there. Set it in and let it rest there, and you can slide it back and forth as needed to get it centered where you want it to be. And then we'll take our measurements and work on building the frame for it. So now we need to work on the frame for the TV. So we're going to measure, we're going to go from the inside of the frame right here. So we're going to be measuring the inside there, end to end and top to bottom. Got this at Lowe's, our wood trim here. They have a variety of different styles you can choose from. It's back in like the trim framing department. Just kind of pick what one you get. This one was about $14 a board. I think I'm gonna use 2 of them, but they're different varieties, styles, whatever fits what you're looking for and what matches your decor. So ultimately, it's going to go up here on our frame, cover up the black frame of the TV, and when we take our measurements, we'll end up taking a 45-degree angle right here. So our measurement will be the start of the 45 on each side, and then the other piece will come down in 45 to it, so it makes one continuous corner there. Mine, depending on your TV, is the location of the sensor for your remote. So ours is right here in the middle. I'm still playing with what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to use a little, I forget what the name of it is, but we got on Amazon. It relocates your sensor somewhere else. So I'm probably going to end up attaching that to the back of the frame and rerouting it. But just every TV is a little bit different. You just need to know where that's at and come up with a plan for it. I could also cut a hole out in the frame to leave that exposed, but I'm going to try to make it so you don't see anything through the frame. So we will figure that out. So ideally, I would use more of a trim blade on this. This is a fine finish, but I'd probably want a little bit finer for trim work. But you'll see me taking the saw and just kind of taking little chunks at it as I go. It helps to keep this top lip from splitting, so I get a nice clean edge. If you just go at it as the blade comes up, it can kind of make splinters. So that's why you'll see me doing that. Just it's to make a nice cleaner edge out of it. I'm trying to figure out a way to test fit this. I'm just going to try taping this on the back so I can kind of put them together before I nail them, just make sure everything fits the way I want it to. If I need to seam anything, make any adjustments, I can do that. Go ahead and wrap the tape all the way around the frame to try to hold it together while we do a little bit of test fitting here. So it looks like everything lines up pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take it off and get it assembled together. Alright, so I put wood glue on, press it together, and now I'm going to staple it on the back to hold it together in place.
Alright guys, so we have our frame completed. It is all put together. It's been stapled. It's been glued. We've filled in the seam here so you can't see this line that's on the edges here. So they've been sanded down and all of that. And then once we get it painted, you will not be able to see that little crack there. Alright, so I want to give this frame an antique golden look because I do my home in a French country aesthetic. I want it to look like a photo frame that's hanging on the wall in a French house. So I've decided to achieve this look by using 3 different types of paint. So first what we're going to do is we're going to use this black, just a black matte spray paint. You can get this just about anywhere. I think we got ours from Lowe's. And then we're going to go over it with this golden metallic color. And I think this is actually a champagne gold. I'm sorry the lighting out here is just terrible, but this is a champagne gold, so we're going to go over it with that. And then these two are going to be our bases for the frame. Now once those have dried, we're going to use this magic little tube of, it's kind of a wax paint, and it's called Rub and Buff. I purchased this from Hobby Lobby. It was $6.49, and that was probably the cheapest price that I have found it. You can get this on Amazon as well. It's a little bit more expensive on Amazon, and I think shipping was going to be about a week. So we are glad that we found that at Hobby Lobby. But we're going to apply all 3 of these coats to get our antique golden frame. So let's get started. So I'm going around and I'm getting the insides first. So this is the inside of my frame, and I'm just kind of grabbing those first. Again, you don't have to have full coverage of the black on, because again, these spray paints are just kind of acting as a base. So the black and the gold are going to fill each other in very nicely. And then I'm going to go around to the outside, and I'm just going to give the outside edges a good paint. And then after our inside and outer edges are painted, we're going back to the inside, and we're doing this back and forth motion to get the frame painted. You guys, that this was a champagne gold, and it is actually metallic champagne bronze, but it has a gold look to it. So I just thought that was very pretty and very fitting. I love the metallic kind of look of it, so that's why I chose this color again, to kind of give it a little bit of shimmer. So now that our paint is dry, we're going to go back over it with our champagne bronze golden spray paint. And again, we're going to do the same technique. We're going to start on our outer edges first. Okay. And then we're going to get our inner edges. So again, you can still see some of that black coming through, and that's going to give us kind of our little tarnished antique look as well. Okay, so we're going to take it and we're just going to rub it on, and we're going to highlight these areas that are like etched into the wood. So I want those to be dominant on the frame here. So we're just going to take it and we're just going to rub it in as good as we can. And again, we're rubbing it on all of these raised edges. Okay, so here we just want to show you the areas that we've used the rub and buff versus the areas that do not have the rub and buff. So you can tell right in through here, we have not applied the rub and buff. This is just very flat and really just looks like painted wood. And then over here where we have the rub and buff, you can see where all these carved wood pieces are just really highlighted and accentuated, which is what we want. And then you can still kind of see the black and the flat champagne gold underneath, which just gives us the antique look that we're going for in this frame.
To come up with a way to attach the frame to the TV, so I came up with some boards here. I just used some scrap boards from other projects that I had, but you can kind of see the concept here. Where my fingers are at, I'll attach the back of the frame, and this will hang on top of the TV, so you can see TV will sit top of the TV right there. This will hold it from going forward, holding the frame in place. And I measured, I got about ½ inch. I need a ½ inch this way and about a ½ inch this way. Depending on how your TV's made, you kind of shape it to that, but that's what I needed from it. Sure your screws are long enough to go through this, but not so long that they poke out the other end of your frame. I'm just going to start those. So when I put them on the back of the frame, I'm ready to push them on through. Now mine, I'm intentionally leaving my board up a little bit higher on this. It's just the way I needed it for my measurements to work. Again, you want to make sure you don't go too far into your frame and split it or poke a screw all the way through it. Yeah, for these, this part isn't seen, so I think I just used some scrap boards, like I said, from another project. Before we get our frame on, I mentioned earlier about the remote being able to pick up with the frame. So our sensor's right here, and we could just drill a hole in the frame for that, but we didn't really want that. So we got this from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description, but it actually transmits your remote signal, so it plugs into a power source, and you mount this end somewhere where the remote can easily get to, and put this end in range of that sensor, and it just relays the message from your remote to the TV. So I played with it a little bit. I was able to figure out if I just put this little sensor right next to mine behind the frame, it'll work. So that's what we're going to do, is just stick it up right here behind the frame and then have this end out where it can be gotten to. That way we don't end up with a hole in our frame. So I've got a remote sensor mounted, and it's time to slide it on here. We pretty much used every inch of the space up here for this to work. Set it up, and we have a frame TV.
Alright friends, now that our frame TV is complete, I want to show you guys how to get free art on your televisions. All you have to do is go to YouTube and type in TV art. It's that simple, and it's completely free. And then you'll have a variety of designs and art to choose from, such as landscapes, coastal themes, even French country themes, which are my personal favorites. Frame TVs cost well over $1,000, and we completed this look for just under $60 and have beautiful artwork hanging anytime we want it. Thank you so much, friends, for watching today's video. Please consider subscribing for more home inspiration and renovation. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I post daily. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.